Capa's 55th yearly summer movie series is returning, showcasing 28 films over 7 weeks at the Ohio Theater. Today on City Chat, we have Rich Corsi, Capa's VP of Programming, joining us to share details about our exciting summer lineup. Thank you so much for coming on to City Chat. It's good to see you again. Can you tell us about, Capa's summer movie series and also the history behind it?
Sure. So the Summer Movie Series is the longest running classic film series in America. Short history lesson. Back in 1969, the Ohio Theater was set to be torn down.
Okay.
And they were going to demolish it, and I believe they were going to make it into a parking lot.
Okay.
There was a small group of folks locally that rallied and fundraised and just got together and basically stepped in front of the wrecking ball and said, "You're not going to tear this down." So that whole process happened, and then Capa was formed, the Columbus Association for the Performing Arts, back in 1969. So the organization was formed, and then when they rolled into 1970, one of the ways to come back was to start showing films. Okay. So that year, I believe they showed about 4 or 5 films, and very, very successful. The next year, they did about 8 or 10 films, and then they peppered in some live performances.
Yeah.
And then the movie series just continued to grow and grow and grow. And probably 10, 15 years in, it really took legs, and it really started taking off. And showing the movies and concentrating them in the summer was the perfect thing to do, because September through May, there's just a lot of shows coming in, a lot of resident groups happening, and a lot of stuff that gets peppered into the calendar.
Yeah.
So it formed into the summer movie series, and we've been doing it for 55 years now, and it has been phenomenal. We have folks that will get this schedule, sit down with their home calendar, mark out all the movies they're going to just to set their summer. They love it that much.
Oh my gosh. So this has seriously been around since 1970. You guys haven't missed a year, or
No, even with COVID, we were able to, with the restrictions, I believe we did 8 films, and we did, I think we were capped at 300 people.
Okay.
The Ohio Theater holds 2,700, so we were able to spread out.
Wow.
Very safe. But even when we announced that, even in the thick, when we were allowed to do it, people were like, I'm going to the summer movies, and they sold out immediately. I mean, it was 300 tickets a show, but people were like, I need to go to the movies.
Yeah.
I need to get out of the house. And so we were able to keep the streak alive, and it's been fantastic. People really look forward to this every year.
In your opinion, how do you, or why is this so important, these movie series,
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's kind of like a give back to the public.
Yeah.
We don't charge a lot of money for the movies. We want arts to be accessible to everybody. Something like this is a great example of what Capa can do for the Columbus community and basically all of Ohio and anybody who wants to travel into Columbus. Just important to get people together. I mean, you can pop a DVD on and sit in your living room and watch a movie, but it's a completely different world when you're sitting there with 1,500 people watching a Hitchcock film. Mm-hmm. And you're all there for the same reason, and you come in for a couple hours, forget about everything going on in life, and you just watch a great classic film.
Yeah. I've always wondered, what defines a classic film,
It's all over the place. So it used to just be, we would just show films from like 1920 to 1960. And then after 55 years of showing films, we've shown a lot of films. So it's kind of expanded, and with each decade, I've been at Capa like in my 34th year, so I've seen this movie series grow, but it's one of those you kind of have to have people's interests. So we kind of pepper in a few films. We've got Thelma and Louise, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Field of Dreams, a little bit more current ones. We try to keep it at least 20 plus years old.
Okay.
But everybody is always shocked when we say something like Viva Las Vegas is on its 60th anniversary. People are like, oh my God, I remember that movie. And then it takes you back. So with this series we have this year, we've got movies from the 1920s through the 1990s. So we try to keep it fresh, and we try to get folks who may not have been to the series because they don't know what it is. So we might draw them in with Pee-wee because everybody loves Pee-wee. And so, they might draw them in with that, and then they'll get the calendar and go, oh my gosh, there's so many great films. I heard about this. My parents told me about this film, Wizard of Oz. It's amazing. So it's kind of a neat thing for us to do. It's a great give back to the public, and and that's why we keep the prices low. We just want people to come out and just enjoy a couple hours at the Ohio Theater. And it's not a super expensive ticket like a rock show or a dance show or Broadway. It's a $6 ticket.
Right. I know. Yeah. No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I just like from a personal perspective, like movies, the production planning that comes behind that, and then for it to last like centuries, is so inspirational. So like I love that you guys have chosen to go that classic movie route, because it's just like, wow, this is like our part of our history.
Oh yeah, and it's amazing. A lot of people think we come in and push the yellow button and the movie series pops up. We start on this movie series. There's a gentleman named Lance Carwile, who's a dear friend of Capa, massive movie guy who helps us with the distributors of the movies, and he's got connections everywhere. Lance and I sit down probably in December, and we start this process. It takes months. Yeah. And then we've got to kind of go through, and we try not to show the same film, for like 6-7 years. So we're cognizant of that. But it takes a while to see what films are available, when we can slot them in, when we can get the rights to them. Sometimes movies have anniversaries and they'll say, you can't show that movie because we're going to re-release it in the big theaters, in your AMCs and stuff like that. So it's a whole process. And we also listen to the public. So Clark Wilson, who's our organist, people all summer long will give him suggestions of movies they want to see. Okay. And then I'll get emails all year round. Lance will get emails, and we want the people, the public, to see the movies they want to see. I'm not buying a ticket, so we listen to the public. We had a thing a few years ago where somebody mentioned, "Hey, you never do John Wayne movies," and we're like, "We always do John Wayne." And then we looked, and we'd never done a John Wayne movie. Oh, cool. And this is like 7-8 years ago, and it was amazing to think we've never shown a John Wayne film, but. Even with Lance and I at the helm, we just never caught that. Yeah. Somebody mentioned it, and we showed a John Wayne film, and we had 1,000 people.
That's great.
Yeah, so good stuff.
That's so cool. You were talking about how this is like year-round planning. You started this process in December. Can you tell us about what the dates and the movie lineup of like some of the films that you're really excited about?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're kicking the series off a little bit later. We normally start in June, but I'm sure you've seen the advertising, and we're super, super excited. Lion King is coming back to Columbus for 4 weeks. So it just pushed the movie series a little bit later, but we've still got a full 7 weeks. It starts July 12th, and then it runs all the way through August 25th. And as we talked earlier, we've got films from like the 20s to the 90s. We've got a couple Hitchcocks. We've got a Elvis movie, Viva Las Vegas. We've got Pee-wee's Big Adventure. One of our massive things during the year is we have the silent film with Clark Wilson. Okay. And Clark comes out, sits at the Mighty Morton organ, which is original to the theater back in 1928, and he plays the whole score through the whole movie. And it is fantastic. I still don't know how he does it. I've known him for 33 years, and he sits at that console and he'll play for 75, 90 minutes straight through. And you just forget he's there, and you just watch the silent film. It's mesmerizing. If you haven't been there, you got to check it out. And we've also, like I said, put in a couple other things. We have cartoon capers where we show old classic cartoons with Daffy Duck and Roadrunner and and Bugs Bunny, and it's amazing seeing the different generations of folks coming out. You'll see a kid with a dad, with a grandparent, and they're just like, they're doing this is all we had to watch back then, We had 2 channels, and, and now it's just, everything's just YouTube and everything else, and, so they love coming into that, which is great because it's a great family opportunity. And we're kicking it off with Field of Dreams on July 12th because it's coming out of the baseball all-star weekend. It's like, let's do a cool movie. It's a tearjerker. You always cry at the end of it, but it's a great sport film. And the thing with Lance and I, every year we do this, we just try to put a little bit of everything in for some, we've got a little bit of horror, a little bit of sci-fi. We've got Star Wars, we've got Return of the Jedi come in, because now that you can actually license those films, we're thrilled. So we've got a lot for everybody. And usually when people look at it, they usually get a good 8 to 10 films they want to come see, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, to have folks just pick 8 movies they're going to come to, it's hard to get people out of their house and do stuff. And
Yeah,
the summer
for sure.
movies it's a whole different thing. It's just a lot of fun.
And all of these movies, I think I saw on the website that they go in their evening times, right?
Yeah, so our movies, we do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and we do that at 7:30 p.m.
Okay.
And then on Sunday, we put a 2 o'clock matinee.
Okay.
And a lot of times on Sunday, we'll show a lighter film, maybe a musical, Meet Me in St. Louis, something like that, where, parents can bring their kids, and the kids will enjoy it. You're watching Judy Garland or you're seeing Gene Kelly dancing in the rain. And it's just wild just seeing people's reactions when they see these old films in black and white. I mean, that's a shock for some people. They've never seen a black and white film, some of the kids, and it's like a huge thing.
I think it's such a great idea, and it's just, I can imagine the feeling, that magical feeling of knowing that you're in a theater of like where it all started, like, the group of local protesters, that blocked the Ohio Theater from being shut down. Like, that's just all so special.
Yeah, and it's just amazing just seeing so many ages of the folks coming in, and it's just a gathering place. And we have a lot of fun with the movie series, and we keep it light, and we just want people to keep coming back.
How much are tickets, and where can we purchase them?
So we have tickets that will be going on sale. We're doing a new thing we started last year. You can buy individual tickets for any of the movies throughout the series.
Okay.
They're $6 general admission, and then they're $5 for seniors. But then we also run this promo where we have a strip of 10 tickets, and you can get those 10 tickets for $40.
Oh.
So it's $4 a film.
Do you have to pick out the film that you want to see? So
you get 10 tickets, and you go to any film you want. You can take 9 friends to one movie, or you can go see 10 movies yourself.
Oh, that's
So you can
great.
use them for any movie, but for $4 a ticket, I don't know what you can get for $4 anymore.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited for that this summer. Like popcorn and snacks, are they?
Yeah,
okay.
we've got full concessions. We've got the bars open. We've got full concessions, drinks for the kids, popcorn, candy, all kinds of stuff. It's quite an experience.
Oh my gosh, that's really exciting. Last question, what is your favorite classic film and why?
I would probably go, it's hard to stray. Like, I was so excited to see Wizard of Oz coming back, and it's one of those films that no matter where you watch it and when you watch it, I always sit there and just go, how was this film made back then? Yeah. Now it's all CGI and everything going on, and you can do anything you want, and buildings blow up, and they don't really, and just watching something like that so long ago, it was so far ahead of its time.
I know.
I know. So.
That's a great film.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rich, for coming on and giving us this perspective. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And like I said, we love doing these kind of things at Capa and just giving back to the community. And this is like a huge example of that. And this series will continue on probably forever. So there'll always be a classic film.
I'm Josie Smith. Thanks for watching City Chat on CTV.